Hello class, my name is Douglas Ferber and I will be arguing for why I think the majority of abortions are illegal, or why it should be illegal to get an abortion the majority of the time. So first I'll address a few of the common arguments you hear from people trying to defend this so-called right to an abortion. The first being that they usually try to put some kind of qualifier on what makes a fetus human or not, ignoring the fact that from an unbiased scientific point of view, that you're a human the moment of conception. That at the moment of conception, from that point on, if the mother does not abort the fetus or does not have some rare disease that will cause the fetus to die, then that fetus will grow into a child and then into an adult, the same as we are. But you'll also see the heartbeat argument, this idea that, well, you have to have a heartbeat to be a human, but this doesn't quite make sense either when you consider the fact that you have people who, through some disorder, disease, or some drug overdose, that they've died and for a short period of time and then were resuscitated. But we don't argue during that period that these people were less human or are less human afterwards. We also don't say that during a heart transplant, when you have neither your original heart nor the donor's heart in your body and you're relying on a machine, that you in that moment become not human. So of course then we have the argument of pain. Can the fetus feel pain? Again, this doesn't work because we have people who are born with an inability to feel pain. Well, we don't treat them any differently. We don't think of them as any less human than the rest of us. And then you also have people who will argue that it's not human unless it can survive outside the womb on its own. Well, this doesn't make sense either, because you have people with severe mental handicaps or people who are in a coma or through some medical problem require constant supervision from a machine or a medical staff. Again, you did not consider them any less human. You don't get the right to do anything to them to hurt them, or because they're in a state of not being able to take care of themselves. So again, this shouldn't apply to a fetus. I'll also see people, they'll argue that taking the so-called right away to have an abortion, it takes away a woman's choice or bodily autonomy. But again, this doesn't make sense because the woman has choice to not have sex, to not get pregnant in the first place, to not take on another life as part of her own physical being. And in the event that she got pregnant through failed contraception, in the extraordinarily unlikely chance that this happens, if they're taking a pill, if they're using a condom, then you simply must just own up to it. Take responsibility for what you did. You're not losing your choice through the fault of anyone except yourself. Every time you engage in consensual sex, you know there's a risk that you might get pregnant or get someone pregnant. So that's why I believe most of the time it's unjustifiable to have an abortion.